It's a paper trail for the week ending in April 4th, 2026, and we'll cover what happened last week in the information security space. Last week in review. BitSite recorded publicly disclosed data breaches between April 2025 and March 2026, spanning the public sector, 21.4%, educational services, 14.5%, information services, 13.6%, and finance and insurance, 12.9%. The most breaches were reported in the U.S., 755, over the period. The breadth of affected industries highlight that no sector is immune, and organizations must layer their defenses and have contingencies for the worst-case scenario. Google rolled out Android developer verification globally for Play Console and Developer Console to reduce the risk of distribution of apps with malware. This will make it significantly harder for anonymous actors to deploy malicious apps without requiring additional user actions, starting from September 2026 in Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand, before expanding globally in 2027. While this helps strengthen the supply chain trust, organizations still need to employ MDM or MAM solutions to reduce the enterprise risk for mobile devices. Pulse. Palo Alto Networks, Unit 42. Research identified that Google Cloud's Vertex AI platform grants deployed AI agents permissive access by default, including the ability to read all cloud storage buckets in the project. An attacker who deploys a malicious agent can leverage the service account's default credentials to pivot into the broader cloud environment and access that data. Because the attack operates within the bounds of legitimately granted permissions, it may not produce obvious alerts for teams to investigate. This highlights the need to consistently audit identity permissions in the environment, and to recognize that even well-designed cloud platforms can inadvertently introduce attack paths when defaults aren't carefully reviewed and scoped. A remote access toolkit dubbed CTRL, as identified by Census, is distributed via malicious Windows shortcut, LNK files disguised as private key folders. The disguise makes a malicious script look like a folder. Double-clicking it silently executes a PowerShell payload. The custom .NET toolkit enables credential phishing, keylogging, RDP, remote desktop protocol, hijacking, and reverse tunneling. It exploits end users' curiosity about private keys, making the social engineering lure especially effective against developers and power users. Fix it, Frank. F5 Big IP is a critical application delivery platform used by enterprises, including financial institutions, for load balancing, SSL termination, application firewalling, and VPN access. A vulnerability in F5 Big IP APM, Access Policy Manager, devices, originally classified as medium severity denial of service, disclosed in October 2025, CVE-2025-53521, was reclassified to critical severity unauthenticated RCE after it was found to be under active exploitation by remote adversaries that deployed web shells. Successful exploitation of this vulnerability could grant the adversaries a strategic choke point to intercept credentials, inject malicious responses, and move laterally in the organization. Organizations should upgrade their 15.x, 16.x, and 17.x versions of Big IPs to the latest versions to remediate the vulnerabilities. Axios, one of the most popular NPM packages with approximately 100 million weekly downloads, was hit with a supply chain attack. Any build pipeline, developer workstation, or production application that ran NPM install during the approximately 3-hour exposure window and installed Axios versions 1.1, 4.1, or 0.30.4 may have been affected by the malicious package. Organizations should pin the Axios version to known good versions, rotate the credentials, and take multiple additional actions. The fine print. The FTC announced a proposed settlement with OkCupid and Match Group Americas over allegations that OkCupid secretly shared nearly 3 million users' photos, location data, and demographic details with Clarify, an AI facial recognition company, despite a privacy policy explicitly promising data would only go to service providers, business partners, or affiliates. Clarify was none of those. The FTC also alleged years of active concealment, including obstruction of the agency's civil investigative demand. The settlement carries no monetary penalty, but permanently bars both companies from misrepresenting their data practices and requires 10 years of compliance reporting to the FTC. This serves as a reminder for organizations to review their privacy policies against actual data flows in their applications. Every NYDFS licensed entity must file its annual certification of material compliance or acknowledgement of non-compliance by April 15, 2026, the first annual certification that must affirmatively cover compliance with the November 1, 2025 amendments to Part 500, which added mandatory multi-factor authentication, MFA, for any individual accessing any information system with non-public information, as well as written asset inventory policies and procedures. Organizations should confirm MFA is active for all users and all information systems, including cloud consoles, identity providers, remote access, and internal systems alike. If exceptions exist, they should be documented and approved by appropriate authorities within the organization with appropriate compensating controls. The bottom line. From global developer verification to the strengthening of regional compliance standards, this week highlights a collective move toward a more transparent and resilient digital world. As we look ahead, with the NYDFS deadline nearly here, what's one proactive step your team has taken this week to make your environment even more resilient? This newsletter is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, compliance, or professional cybersecurity advice. Readers should consult qualified legal, compliance, or cybersecurity professionals before making decisions based on any information contained herein. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Paper Trail. We'd love your ideas and suggestions, so email us at feedback@hackwithheart.com. You can follow Paper Trail wherever you like best. Read it on hackwithheart.com, listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or watch on YouTube.